The magpie's getting nice and close today. How you doing, guys? Enjoying your evening meal? Alright, today we're going to muck around in the shed, which is a little messy, but we're working on it. So, in amongst a bunch of things here, we have our metal casting bench. That's where we're going to be today. So, there's a few supporters of my channel that have gone above and beyond with all the rest. We're going to be naming them and explaining them why. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take some of this, which is the last of the metal I've got. This metal was from a briquette press bearings. It's lead-free stuff. And it's a bit like pewter, but no lead. It was used in the Yalorn briquette presses, which that whole, I think they call it energy bricks. I used to work there. I did some stuff there. It's all shut down now, never found again. But so it's a historical metal. Now, this stuff shines up very nicely and looks the part when you can cut it up, and it's very easy to cast. Now I would do this in brass, but the method I'm using to cast brass is a little more difficult. I did some years ago try and make a play button for Tinkerman Mick out of brass, and it took all day. So we'll go over why and how and all the rest of this, but we've got to get some of this cleaned up first. Alright, so in the process of cleaning up, I've got some ghosts going on in here. I have power on the extension lead over here, but no power to my compressor, and it was missing all its compressor oil, and it looks like I'd left it turned on. That's bad. But on top of that, the workshop machine that I've finally just got working now doesn't work at all, doesn't power on, and there is power to the actual power supply there. Even the diagnostic button won't fire it up. So quick little test here. When I push this down, this should stop. Alright, now we've got the cover off here, and we can hear that, yep, the compressor is indeed working. I can hear it pumping air in. That's good. This little switch here, overload switch, it popped. Right, hearing protection on. We're well out of the way of the fireworks. See what happens. Beautiful. Okay, she works. So, next issue, the date is wrong because the BIOS battery's flat. The date is so far wrong I can't get it back with internet time. So I've had to hook back into the network switch out here, get it on the internet, manually correct the time. Hopefully it'll catch up, then we'll be able to get the laser up and running. Okay, we got things up and running finally. We've got everything happening. The compressor's still a bit uncovered. We will fix that next time. We'll just keep everybody out of the shed in the meantime. inside and we can explain a few things now. So the way this mold works, these are 3-part molds that I make, and what I'll do is I'll coat the inside of this with graphite. I'll basically get some graphite, work it in with a brush and my finger, like graphite powder, and do on all the other bits and pieces. We'll reassemble all of this. I'll put some scratches on it with a knife to create some air gaps, and I'll remember to get everything in the right way. I've cut these very accurately so they only fit exactly the right way. And I'll get some like air gaps around here, which will be just a score with a knife. It'll work out. I'll use some blue tack to make a header on here, and I'll pour the metal in the top. It should fill out the cavities. They've been engraved in inverse, so it should come out looking right. Then we'll put them on the rag wheel and polish them up, make them look nice and shiny. In the meantime, these are coins, I guess you could say, challenge coins we'll call them. I'm going to put them in a holder, which these have been cut very exactly too and are difficult to pick up. So we've got 3 of these for the moment. This is the initial run of these, and there's little bits of plastic that come out of, or acrylic that come out of the holes that I haven't popped out yet. The idea with these is that these should, 2 of these bits should go together like so, and with these little feet that I've built out of the offcuts, they should assemble on the bottom here with just a tiny little bit of slack. The whole thing, if it's right being the key word, should sit like that. Should sit back and display nicely. I don't know once I put the coin in there if they'll tip all the way backwards, or if I'll have to make different feet or not. I might choose a better angle, but either way, I'm hoping that works to make them stand up. Now we've got Middo here. If you've seen him on my Land Rover videos, you know about him. We've got Alan. He's donated lots of bits and pieces to everything, and he continues to supply more bits and pieces. And then we've got Dead Meat. He's supplied an immense amount of network equipment and quite some expensive stuff. So there will be another one coming. There's my cameraman. I've got to do something a little bit more unique with him. He's been in a lot of different videos, largely unpaid. He's done some drone footage from many years ago as well. Don't worry, you will get acknowledged too, but I'm going to do things in a slightly different way. I'm going to do something a little bit better for that. In any case, this is just the 3 to start with, and we'll continue on probably in a separate video with a different acknowledgement. But for now, I'm going to get these bolted together. I'm going to use little nuts and bolts and make sure everything sits nicely. Alright, so this is about 3rd take because I keep yawning. It's night time and I'm tired. So we've finished the stands. They may need a bit of a once over with some Windex by the time we're done. But tomorrow, when I'm not so tired, I'm going to heat up some hot metal. Going to bolt all this together, graphite it, and we'll pour some metal. And hopefully we can polish things up and have finished products. Anyway, let's jump till the morning.
The next morning.
Alright, so I'm up early this morning, and I have already started by taking my scalpel blade here and making some radial scratches around here. What that does is when I sandwich things together, it allows just a little bit of an air gap through there, so when I'm pouring the metal in, it pushes all the way out to the edges. This is a skill I developed specifically to impress my now wife at the time, or she was I guess a prospective wife at the time. Anyway, it worked. I learned to cast metal to make things to impress her. So that's one of the tricks I learnt in the process. Now I need to go out to the shed, coat these all in graphite, and go from there, which is going to be very messy. Alright, so we're out in the shed now, and there's a whole bunch of ways I could do this with a brush and whatnot, but my fingers have always seemed to work the best here. We're going to try and just get some graphite into the relief with all this stuff, work our way around. In fact, I did used to have a paintbrush somewhere for this. Not sure where the paintbrush went. Here's a toothbrush. Here we go. Get all the fluff out of it. Work that into the corners, into the relief. It'll give it better detail. One thing worth noting at the moment is all the dust that's in the air at the moment from the graphite powder. I've just opened the window and it's all, I can see it flowing out the window. But yes, definitely don't breathe this stuff in. Right, so the next bit I need to do here is you get a little bit of this on your finger, which my finger's already covered in it. Well, that's about 3 times too much. But we're going to coat the inside of this ring here with this. Back pieces here. Dropped a nut, I'll have to find it. We don't want this too tight, we want it to let some air out the gaps. But we do want it firm enough that we don't have excessive flashing. So it is a bit of experience, I guess. It's just stuff you learn doing it. Yeah. This stuff is a Bostik product. And you can generally buy it. It's blue tack, spelled B-L-U-T-A-C. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's pretty much a reusable putty. And I discovered some years ago that it will put up with the temperatures of molten metal quite nicely. So what I want here is, this is pretty much half a packet's worth. But we want to make a little bund around the top of all of this. So we can pour our metal into it. This is how I make the header for it. Okay, we're using a common gas stove here to light this up. And this should melt the metal just fine. Keep in mind these things some of these have a recall because the rubber seal in here degrades and they can randomly catch fire out of that hole. So definitely worth keeping an eye on them. Right, we're starting to get molten now. We'll be skimming off the slag soon. Cut a big chunk out of this one with the help of a gas torch over there. But yeah, we'll move all this around in a minute. All right, the big furnace gloves here to help out. Off we go. We're going to pour in. All right. See how we go here now. We let it all cool. And the hammering is there to help shake it further down into the mold. So for now, we're just going to go back and let this cool off. Hopefully these bubbles are not coming out of the molds themselves, because if they are, and I need to get out of the way here so it doesn't splash, if they are bubbling out of the mold, that means the mold's gassing off and we're going to have inclusions in the mold. So we'll see what happens now at this point. And it's sucking air in now. Alright, it's stopped bubbling, that's a good sign. Alright, we'll let it cool, we'll be back in a little while. Now often what helps here is now it's probably in pudding phase, it's still kind of soft. So we can peel our blue tack off out of the way. And I can usually take a hammer here and I can knock the top off. Here we go. That can go back in the mold. Alright, it doesn't look like it's sucked it down too far into here, which is nice. Alright, so they're fully, the sprues are completely filled. Good sign. So now we can probably separate the mold sections. Right, now we can open our mold up, which is going to be very hot. We need to be careful. So what we might do first is find a pair of pliers, get rid of these chunks, because they will be hot. Very. We'll flip this guy up. And yep, the mold definitely expanded. That looks like there may be, it might not be the greatest casting, but we'll see. Now we can knock these out. Now the screws are out, or the nuts are out. Alright, that one looks like it's filled the mold perfectly. So this one looks like it's come out all right. There's a bit of pitting in that, probably because the mold's gassed off. We might reattempt that one. All right. This one's got pitting as well. It's gassed off and sucked in too much. So lots of pitting in them. We may reattempt. And that one there as well. Or I guess we could leave them inclusions and all. It might make it look a bit more, I guess, authentic. But we're going to let these cool first. They have filled the mold completely and the relief is intact. So I might polish one up and see what they look like. All right, we're back in the shed again. We'll assemble the 4-way mold. We're going to melt these down and we're going to try again. See if we get a better go. I've reassembled the same molds in the hope that now they've been heated, they're seasoned a bit, they might not gas off so much. We'll see if we get a better result. Alright, starting to get liquid now. See how we're going. Yep. Now stick one of these guys in. We'll melt you, and probably going to melt this one as well. We'll keep the best one here in case we want to fall back on. Alright. We've got Discord in the background as well, so we'll just deal with that. Yep. Try for round 2 pouring. Alright. Well, we're going to gas off again and stay well out of the way of that. Go. Peel this off. Oh. We'll pick all the bits of we'll pick all the bits of metal out of it later. There we go. Okay. That one looks much better. Alright. Much cleaner this time. I'm glad we did that. Beautiful. That one's a little bit misshapen, but we've got a couple of shots at it here. Yeah, this one messed up. Got one good one out of it, which is good. We can get the first one out that we want. Yeah, this one messed up a bit too. Oh, and there goes 2 of my screws. Alright, this one's going to need a little bit more finishing, but it looks pretty good so far. Starting to get shiny. Go inside and test fit this in the stand first, and then have a bit of hand sanding to go after that. Okay, so we're back inside, and yeah, so the first one of these, this is Alan's one. This is the primary one we want to get done first. So, is it going to fit in the hole is the next question. It should pop in there nicely. I think that'll look good. Got a little bit more finishing to do, but it should stay in the stand. Next question is, can I get the feet to stay under it, or do I need to redesign these? I'm kind of feeling straight away like I need to redesign them, and I'm putting dirty fingerprints all over this. But look, they should hold it at least. They should keep it standing up. And that's right, that's what I was hoping to do. But yeah, I need a little bit more hand sanding and a bit more cleaning up to do. And I'm going to have to clean my fingerprints off that before I hand it over. But they work alright, and they got quite the ring to them. Of course, some guys that have been with us from the start, there's Gritmits, they keep giving me products. So I've got to clean my hands here. This stuff is one of the few things I found that would get that buffing compound off my hands. It's good stuff. Alright, I think at this point I'm going to make this a two-parter video. As much as I don't like to do this, it's going to be probably another 2 days work between everything else I've got to get done and some dental work and everything else. So yes, the first one I want to get out is for Alan. I've got 2 more to get out, and then I'll have a whole separate video on doing something for my cameraman as well. He needs probably a bit of assistance in the near future as well, but I'm only one person, there's only so many things I can do. But primarily, Alan, I want to make a specific reference, has not only supported me with a lot of equipment and a lot of personal support and advice, he's also donated to a couple of charities that I've put up, or situations where people I know that have encountered hardship, he's personally donated to those as well. So he's gone above and beyond. So first cab off the rank is Alan here. So yes, part 2 will be finishing this up, making it nice and shiny, and depending on how he feels, I may even put him on camera here. I'll go and present it to him in person. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we'll see you in part 2.